Good afternoon and happy Saturday. Thank you for joining me today. We are going to go through a fabulous class on our blenders, and I'm excited to be able to show you two of our new blenders as well. So welcome. We'll give everyone a minute or so to jump on. Thank you to those who have been on here before and that love to join in and see what's new and what we've got. Sarah will be doing some comments for us as well. So if you've got questions along the way, please feel free to ask while we're there, and Sarah can answer those questions for you. So we're going to go through some of the recipes, and the recipes are actually taken from our brand new and very exciting blender book. So the blender book has been released and is really exciting that it's coming to you to be able to purchase very soon. We're very excited to bring it to you. There's lots of gorgeous things in there, and I'm going to do a handful of them today just to give you an idea of what's in the book, but also an idea of how to use our blenders and why it's so exciting that we now have two new blenders in our range. So we're super happy and super excited for that. I will let you know the difference between them as well. So we have our baby here, which is called our Power Blender 3, and our Power Blender 3 is a 1.2 litre bowl capacity. So the biggest difference is the bowl capacity with 1,000 watts in its power. So it's a smaller machine, smaller base, but it's sort of a one that you can use for sort of 2, 3, 4 people. So it's just an introduction to our range, introduction to our blenders, and it's a really cute little one to have. We then, of course, have our Blender 4, and our Blender 4 is the one that we currently have on the market, which is our 1.8 litre bowl, our glass jug. So that's the great thing with our blenders, is that they are glass. So there's not a lot of glass blenders on the market, and we love the glass blenders because it doesn't hold the smell. It also is all BPA free, and it's also very easy to clean. It's great to see, and it's long lasting. So you're not going to have the crazing that you do with plastics, unfortunately, over time. So they are super, super safe in the dishwasher as well. You can go from really hot to really cold, all of that in between. So we're really excited, and we really love the fact that they are glass. And then we go to our Blender Power 5, which is our big, big baby. So this one here is 2 litres in capacity. So it is huge. If you're serving 250 mils to, 8 people out of a jug this size. So it's a super size. If you've got a big family or you like to use a blender in big quantities, this is the one for you. So we're going to get started. I'll give you more information on them along the way. I'm going to also show you some accessories that we can use on all 3 of these as well. Some of you may already know about those. Some of you may have no idea about those, but I'm going to make sure that I fill you in with all of that today. But we're going to get started, and I'm going to whip through some really quick recipes. We won't be here for long. I know that you're probably sad at that because you want to be here with us for a long time, but we'll be nice and quick and go through some of our recipes. So I'm going to start with my little baby, and I'm going to start with the Blender Power 3. Now I'm going to do in here a Tiramisu dessert, okay? So what I've done is in my jars here, I've just got some sponge finger biscuits and a scoop of vanilla ice cream. And then I'm going to whip up a puree. And this puree is going to be I've just defrosted some frozen berries, and I've also done peaches. Now peaches aren't in season quite yet, they're nearly there, but I actually bought ones in juice, so not in syrup, but just some peaches in juice, and I just strained them ready to go. So you can do this recipe, this one is in the book, can do it all year round. There is the option there of just using, other, you probably can even get frozen peaches these days. They seem to freeze every kind of fruit. So what I'm going to use on this one is just my smoothie program. So if you have a look here, you'll see there's actually 4 automatic programs with our blenders. So the 4 automatic programs means that I can just set and forget. So for example, today I'm just going to use the smoothie function. So we'll just double check that that's on there, beautiful. And then I'm just going to hit the auto button. So for anyone that owns a food processor, you'll know that you've got your auto, your stop, your start. Now, hopefully you can still hear me, but this one here is the spatula. So if anything was to get stuck while I was doing this, I can actually pop my spatula in. Sorry, I put the wrong one in, my fault. My spatula in, so that I put the spatula for the tall one, so ignore that. But if anything gets stuck, I can use that to stir and make sure that nothing's going to get stuck in there. So I don't have to stop and start my blender. So we'll go through that smoothie process. It takes about a minute, and you can see that that's stirring that beautiful puree in there for me. Just going to rinse that one off. Oh, it's nearly done. And it's really easy in the mornings too. So if you're doing smoothies for more than one, you can use your blender. But if you're doing a smoothie for just one, we're going to show you through with our blend cups as well, which is really great. So our blend cups come in 2 different sizes. So I'll take you through those in just a minute. And we'll just pop that open, take out my spatula. Okay. And then we've got that beautiful puree. I'm glad I've got a cloth because I am messy. As you all know, anyone that watches me at any other time, you know that I am a bit messy. Okay, so we've got now that beautiful puree, and just watch this, and it's just going to drizzle. Oh, look at that. And it's so, and I hope that you can see a really good of that pouring out, but it's got that beautiful smooth consistency. So part of our blender is that it's got the blender mix technology, which means that you're going to get that beautiful smooth silky finish when you're doing things like this. Let's use it all. Let's get it all on there. We're just going to do a couple here, but this is a really quick easy dessert, really quick easy way to do a puree. So if you're needing to do a puree for some fruit of anything, of any kind, it's a great way for you to be able to do that in your blender and using those programs. So I'm just going to now pop those out the front, and you can see how beautiful they look. A little bit of fresh berries to the top there. Got a little bit of that. Oh, doesn't that just look absolutely delicious? So I'll pop that in there like that. Beautiful. So you can see quick, easy, simple desserts all made together with our beautiful little baby blender. So I'll leave that on there so we can move on. Now the next thing I want to do is actually do a cake in here and a cake mix. So a lot of people, you know, they might get out their bowl and their mixer and their spatula and whatever they're going to be doing. This is another really quick way to actually get a cake mix together. So I'm actually going to do an orange poppy seed cake. So you can see that I've done one previously here, but I'm just going to add in my orange and my orange rind. Now again, this is in our new fabulous new cookbook. I'm going to add in my butter. I'm going to add in my eggs. Beautiful. And then I've got my flour mixture. Now, when you're adding ingredients to the blender, you need to start with your lighter, your liquid ingredients first. So put your heavier things last and your lighter liquid things in first. So it's going to make it an easier mix for you. I've then got some brown sugar, some flour, and we've also got a little bit of protein powder, in there as well. All in there like so. Okay. And then my poppy seeds. Now, trick with the poppy seeds. Pop your poppy seeds in the freezer for about half an hour prior to actually blending them. So that way they don't all sink to the bottom when you cook it. Learned that. Isn't that clever? I think it's super clever. Okay, so we're going to pop that on. And again, if I need to, I've got my spatula, which I can use to actually do the stirring, but we've got that set now to the dessert program, and I'm just going to get that started. Now, listen to how whisper quiet this is while it's mixing your cake batter. It is so, so quiet. It is amazing. So I can talk normally over this. I'm not having to scream at you. That's going to give it a beautiful mix without over mixing it. So one of the things we don't want to do with a cake mix is to over mix it because it ends up quite rubbery and not very nice. So we'll let that mix in. Great thing that I love that you can see everything that's going on. So it's just gotten a little bit faster. So it's going to collect all of that flour and everything. So the flour that was just stuck on the side there now has been pulled in. And as that gets faster, that's what it actually does. Make sure that it gets everything in there. So it's coming together beautifully, but so quiet. And that's what I really love about these. There's machines out there, blenders out there that are so noisy. And if they take a long time to do a cycle, then you're listening to that noise the whole time. So it's not really, you know, something that we want to be doing. So you can see that now beautifully coming together. And it's just about done. Again, I think it's about a minute to a minute and a half, or probably not even that, probably about a minute. And it's done. So you've got that beautiful, beautiful batter. I can show you that. So can you see that? I don't know how well you can see that, but you can see that beautiful batter in there now, ready to pop into my cake form. If I have a cake form, I'll pop it in, but I don't, so it doesn't matter. But yes, so it's a beautiful, easy way to be able to do your cake mixes. So another great function for our blenders. Okay, now you just have Have to excuse, oh no, it's all right, we'll get to that in a minute. Now, the next thing, and this is what we love about the glass function with the glass part of the jug, is that we are going to do hot soup. So this is really great because it's super easy and super quick. And you can see that is steaming, it is very hot, so I've cooked that. It is a pea soup, but this pea soup has got quite a few extra little ingredients in there. So it's got some leek, some onion, some fresh spinach, and the peas. It's got some stock in there, and we're going to blend it all together. Okay. I like the height of this because when you're pouring in hot, it's not splashing out at me. So that's one thing that I quite like. I probably should use a ladle, but I don't. It's all right. Look at that, all going in beautifully. Okay. So if I was trying to pour that into something a lot shallower as well, that'd probably be splashing all over me, which we certainly don't want because it is very hot. You can see the steam coming out of that. Oops, and I just peed on the bench. Okay, so all of that is in, and we're going to use, again, one of our automatic functions, and that automatic function is soup, funnily enough. So we'll get that going. And while that's going, I'm just going to quickly wash up one of my bowls because I need to be able to show you how to use our smoothie cup. So we'll get that going on soup, get that automatic, and won't be when it'll just be 1 minute. Okay, nearly done. I assume you can all still hear me with that going. I think our microphones help with that, so hopefully you can. I might pop that one to the side as well. Okay, and there we have now. See how I was able to also leave the cap on? So the cap is on there because it's still allowing that little bit of pressure out if it needs to with the hot liquid. So I'll just take the lid off that now, and you can see the steam coming out of that. So you know that it was hot. I'm not making it up. But that beautiful glass jug that we can, that does allow us to be able to do our hot things like that as well, which is fabulous. So one of the other great things that comes, as an accessory that you can purchase with our blenders are the smoothie cups. So we've got our blend cups. So we've got a 400 and a 700 ml blend cup. And then we've also got the glass mill. So you can buy the glass mill on its own. You can buy these two as a pair, or you could buy the whole set together. When you have the whole set, you get some extra bits and pieces like, the shaker one that goes on the top of here, but it gives you all those extra bits as well. But we've got all those, so you're welcome to have a look at what we do have. I'll just set that one aside for just a moment. But I'm going to show you how we turn this into a smoothie machine. So it doesn't matter whether you're using a blender 3, a blender 4, or our blender 5. All of our blend cups and our mill will fit onto the base of these machines. So you don't have to think, which machine am I going to buy if I want to turn it into a smoothie, etc. It is all exactly the same. So yes, there is a difference in the size of the base. There is a difference in the wattage of the base, but you will be able to fit all of our accessories on there as well. The other thing you can do is I can fit my 3 onto my 4. So say down the track I've got the 3 and I decide, it's not quite big enough, I need to go a little bit bigger. You can buy the jug for the 4, which will fit on your 3. Okay, so hopefully that all makes sense. But to turn this into make my smoothies, I'm going to remove the base of my blender, like so. I don't really need to wipe that because I'm just going to get it messy again. And this one I'm going to do, and this is in the recipe book, and this is amazing. It's a Biscoff coffee smoothie. Oh my gosh, it is so good. Okay, so we're going to add, that's just some coconut milk and some water. So I'm going to pop that in. I'm then going to add my powder. And so the powder that I've got there is some cinnamon and some coffee, so some instant coffee. And then I've got some Biscoff biscuits. They're all the rage at the moment. You can do so many things with Biscoff. So I'm going to pop that in there as well. And then I'm just, so as you saw me take this off the bottom of my blender, and I'm going to pop that on to my smoothie cup, and I'm going to use the same base that I put my blender together with, and voila, I now have my smoothie ready to go. So as I mentioned, it'll go on to the 4, but it will also go on to the 3. Okay, so it's nice and easy. So again, we're going to pop this onto smoothie. So just bear with me for 1 second. So the functions are ice, smoothie, and then you've got your soups, and then you've got your desserts. So you've seen me use desserts, you've seen me use smoothie, you've seen me use soup. The crushing of ice is really easy and good to use as well. And we're going to get this going. So I'm just going to hold that and press my start button. And we'll get that going. So this is a great thing in the mornings if you're on the run, you want to make your smoothies, you want to add your bananas, your fruit. Perfect way to be able to do that. Okay, so it takes about a minute. Nearly done, so it just gives it a last. You can see how it gets faster and slower as it goes as well. So depending on what it is that you're making, whether it's your smoothies, your desserts, etc. And stop. So I could have used the 700 ml there as well, or I could double my my ingredients and actually do it in the 7. Like I could have used the 400 ml, but I could have also doubled my ingredients to really fill this one as well. So there it is. I want to sip it, but I don't want to do that in front of you all. But it smells absolutely delicious. So that Biscoff, the coffee, the cinnamon, the almond milk, absolutely delicious and beautiful, ready to go for you to drink. So I also do have this one here, which comes with the set of the blender kit, and that just screws onto there so that you really can have that on the go. So nice and easy. So that's that one there. And then I'm going to show you the mill, because the mill's a really great one for doing lots of things that, you know, are small, fine things that maybe you don't want to get your blender out for. The blender's quite large. You're sort of thinking, I just need to whip up a quick dip. Then the glass mill is absolutely perfect for things like that. So this is our glass mill. Now the glass mill comes with a different blade in it, so you don't need to change it between the blenders, and it's a little bit different, so you can see compared to the 4 that we have with our normal blender. Okay, so I thought, what can we do in this one today? How about, so I love making my own peanut butter. It's a really quick, easy thing to do. So if you don't want to do it in large batches, this is absolutely perfect way to do it. So I have got here some hazelnuts. I've also got some cocoa. I've got some sugar. So I'm going to pop all that into here. I don't want my little nuts rolling all over the floor, so let's just slowly and carefully pop them into here. So this, if you wanted to do a spice mix, so you can put all of your coriander seeds and everything that you need to do with your spice mixes as well. So it's a really great little one, so that you're not doing a whole lot of spice mix that maybe you're not getting through quick enough. It's a really quick, simple way just to do your small batches of this as well. So that is all of that in there. And then we're going to pop in some oil. So you can pop in some peanut oil, you can pop in you know, a bit of olive oil. You can even put sesame oil in if you want that little bit of a stronger taste to it as well. So we'll pop that in there, and we'll just pop that on there. Okay. Now, the only thing I can't remember, because there's always something, is which one I'm going to put this on. What would you think? So I'm thinking, do we do it as a smoothie? Do we do it as, let's have a look. The cocoa hazelnut spread. Now let me actually show you this one as well. So we're going to use this, and we're going to pulse, oh, that's right, So that's why I couldn't think which one we were using. So this is the recipe. Looks amazing. And now I get to show you the little pulse button on the side. So as I mentioned earlier, for those that own a food processor, you can actually, you know that you've got your start, your stop, and then your pulse. So basically the pulse button is so that you can control when this stops and starts. So for example, if what I was doing I wanted left a bit chunky, then I have complete control over it with that pulse button. So we'll just go around with that. Now, if you find, so I might just give that a little shake. You might just need to give them a little shake in between, depending on what you're doing, just so that we get all of our ingredients in there. But if you're doing, like a dip or your peanut oil, I've just done 2 tablespoons of the oil, but you might decide that you want a little bit more oil in it. So that's completely up to you. Okay, so let's have a look at that. Let's see if we need to give it a little stir. Oh, I actually don't think we do. I think it's just about perfect. Can you see that? I honestly thought, oh, it's not really mixing that well, but it is actually coming together as that. Can you see that paste? Now, for me personally, I reckon, I'm actually really quite excited how well that did. I actually think that I would add a little bit more oil to that. Oh, smells amazing. So I'm going to just get a little bit of oil just to add to that. And same with peanut butter. So some people like, their peanut butter a little bit oily. Other people like their peanut butter quite dry, crunchy, all those things as well. So you really can control that. And that's what we love with our pulse function as well. So I'll just pop that back on. Pop that back in. And we'll just go a little bit longer. Doesn't need longer. Okay, I think we are there. So we've got a little bowl that I can pop this into. Oh, yum. Yeah, for me it just needed that little bit more oil. Oh, look at this. So if you're doing, if you buy chocolate hazelnut spreads, this is a super, super cheap way to do it yourself. So you've got your beautiful fresh hazelnuts in there. You can pop it on your toast, you can pop it in on desserts, you can do anything with it really. It's really up to you. Pancakes is another great thing. So you can see now there we've got that beautiful, and it's got that peanut butter texture to it as well. And again, if you want it smoother, you can just go a little bit longer, but that to me is pretty smooth as well. So, so that's just a really great overview of our blenders. So I'll just quickly do a recap. So we have our blender 3, which is at 1.2 litres, our blender 4, which is 1.8 litres, and our blender 5, which is a whopping 2 litres. So it's really got that capacity for your liquids and things to go in there. You can use it to do things like ice right up to doing your hot soups. Because our bowls are glass, we're not going to get crazing, which is when they start to crack. They're BPA free. They don't hold smells either, which is something that I think is really important. Because if you've done a pea soup and then you go to do your smoothie, I don't know how I would feel about my smoothie tasting like pea soup in the morning. So we've got that function as well. We've got the ability to be able to turn all of these bases into our smoothie blender. Our smoothies on the go, so that if we want to be able to make our smoothies in the morning, we can do that in our blend cups. And then of course, if we want to be able to do our milling of our spices and things, nut butters, dips, if you want to do a quick dip, anything like that, then of course we've got our beautiful glass mill, which is amazing as well. So remember, our beautiful new cookbook is this one here. It does have some beautiful recipes. Everything that I did today actually was out of the cookbook, so you can see it's got all the information in there for you. So we've got here a beautiful pink hummus. Oh my gosh, how good does that look? Just makes me want to keep cooking. We've got some beautiful soup recipes in there, of course, so that you can use your blender to be able to process them. We've got some beautiful things like our croquets. Oh, they look really delicious as well. But there's some really nice recipes in here, really worth having a look at. And we hope that you enjoy your blender if you own one. are interested in looking at getting yourself a blender if you don't have one. And of course, now that you've got the choice of size, I think that that's really important to be able to make that choice for your family, for your household, and for the size that you need to be cooking for. So thank you everybody for joining us. It was just nice and quick just to be able to show you our brand new range. Color choice, let me just tell you that. Our 3 and our 5 come in the chrome. And of course, those that know the 4, it comes in chrome, black, red, white. You may still be able to find ice blue out there, but if you want 3 blenders and you want them all to match, then we've got chrome for you. So hope you enjoyed it. Hope that you were able to get something out of this. And I also hope that if you were looking at a blender, that it's helped you to be able to make a decision on which one's going to be right for you and your family. So thank you, everybody. Lovely to have half an hour of your time on a beautiful Saturday afternoon.